3, 4. Hello and welcome to C# Programming on .NET. My name is Brett Robley and I teach at Cal State University Fullerton. The class is ISDS 309 and this video lecture takes another look at arrays where we use the sort and the reverse method. Now these videos are intended to be paused, so feel free to pause them at any time and just stare at the code until you can take it in, but I'm trying to shorten them as much as possible so the videos don't take up too much room on computers and take up too much time elsewhere. So now let's go into Visual Studio, create a console app. We'll name it Array2. We'll let the project build. Let's remove unnecessary statements. We're not using namespaces yet. And then let's go up and use the reformat capability of Visual Studio. So click on Edit, Advanced, Format Document. That slides everything over nicely. Now I'm going to drop in my header comments. And this program is going to allow us to work with a single dimension array. So we'll generate n random numbers and store it in the array. We'll also look for command line arguments. We'll display the array, we'll sort it, we'll display it again, we'll reverse it and display it a last time. Now let me drop in the command line argument processing code. I'll declare an integer n, and then I'll check to see if any arguments were passed. If not, I'm going to assume n is 20. That's how big our array will be. That's how many numbers we'll generate. If we did pass in an argument, then I will set n to that value, or I'll print out a message saying I got an invalid parameter. And lastly, I'll print a message if I get too many parameters. Now, I'm going to drop in this comment here that helps you visualize what an array looks like. Here's an array of 20 items. Each of those boxes stores an integer, and you see the index or the offset. Array of ints sub 0 is the first box. Array of ints sub 19 is the last box. Now I'll drop in the main body of code. This is where we instantiate the random number generator. We declare the array to be of size n. We populate the array, generating a new random number in the range of int.minValue, int.maxValue. And this for each loop, we dump the contents of the array, and then we print out a little bit at the end just to kind of keep track of where we are. Now I had red squiggly lines, so I need to put in using static system.console so I can use my shorthand for write line. Okay, now I'll copy this code and I'll paste it in, and I'm going to call Array.Sort on array of ints. So Array.Sort is the array class static method that allows us to sort it. Then there's the for each loop again, just to dump the contents, and there's our write lines to give us some bearing on where we are. And then I'll copy again, or actually insert the code, and now I'm going to call Array.Reverse on array of ints. That will reverse sort it since it's in sorted order. We'll dump the contents, we'll print our text to get some bearing, and notice that I'm returning 0, and there's a red squiggly under return 0. So I'm going to have to come back and we'll fix that in a minute. Now, if you go to Solution Viewer and you double click on Properties and then come to the debug window, this is where we would put in command line parameters. And I put in 500 so we could generate 500 numbers. But since I noticed we have to go back and fix something, I'm going to do that first. So there's return 0 with a red squiggly. That indicates a successful run. And you can see here the error is, since program main returns void, a return clause cannot be followed by an object expression. So I have to go back and fix the method signature for main and say I'm returning an int to the calling program, which is whatever called us at the operating system level. Okay, let's run this with no parameters, and it's going to assume 20. It generates 20. You see they're unsorted, and then now they're sorted in ascending order, and finally in descending order. Now let's go back and open Solution Viewer, and let's put in a command line parameter. So I'll double click on Properties, I go to the debug, and I'm going to put in 500. I'm going to generate 500 numbers, and I'm going to sort those and then reverse sort those. Okay, so here they come. The program generates them much faster, but because we're displaying, that slows things down. Here they are in sorted order, ascending, and here they are in sorted order, descending. Now I'm going to take that out, or actually add an extra parameter. Now I have too many parameters, and let's see what happens when I run it to make sure that my code senses that. Oh, I didn't put in a read line, so I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to go put some read lines in. Okay, I'm back, and now we have read lines after each error message. So now when I run the program, I can hopefully it'll stop and we can read the message. Okay, here we've sent too many parameters in. Okay, let me go back to the Solution Explorer. I'll update the command line arguments, and now I'm going to put in a negative number, and let's see if okay, I handled it. Negative number was passed, and then let's go back again. Let's put in a nonsense number, something that's not really a number, and make sure that my command line code is going to pick up on that as well. So I'll just put in some text here, and let's run it again and see what happens. And sure enough, it says a non-integer parameter was passed. And that's the video. Thanks for watching.